All right, we are here in the comic book room, and I've had a couple of people ask me for an updated room tour. I've had a couple of people ask about how I organize my collection, how I organize books that I'm selling. The goal is to try to kill a couple of birds with one stone. So essentially, what you just saw there is a little pan of the comic book room. Now I want to walk you through this. So everything that you are seeing in this room, by and large, is all personal collection stuff. The extended collection, the 100K collection, is all down in the garage. Real quick, I want to clear up a misperception. I've been seeing this question a lot from new subscribers to the channel. When I refer to the 100K collection, I am not referring to how much money I spent on a collection. I am referring to the quantity of books. Several years ago, I purchased 30,000 pounds of comics, and we estimated that it contained about 100,000 comic books. That is the 100K collection. If you are interested in learning more about it and even seeing some of the books that came out of the collection, there is a playlist set up for you to check out. So over here are just a bunch of books, right? This is, what do we have here? A full run of Punisher War Journal here, some additional Punisher keys, New Avengers, Secret Avengers, my run of Transformers that I've been kind of working on. There's also some Deadpool books in there, a little bit of some ASM down here on the bottom shelf. Most of what I have is in BCW plastic bins because I honestly just prefer those. They stack well, they look clean, but I do have some things further down the row here that are still in the old cardboard boxes. At some point, I'm going to switch over to the rest of the BCW stuff. Back over here, you see, bins with a bunch of different titles in there because I only have a couple of Eagle comics, for example, a couple of Two Gun Kid comics, but it's a mixture of stuff. And I try to group things as best I can, but sometimes you just find a spot for something and you stick it in it. So up here are some books that I want to send off to be graded. A couple of really awesome books that I had pressed recently. A stack of books that I need to put away. This is The Dark Side War. I love this story arc, so I've been working on putting together all the books in that run. A couple of books here that I haven't done a video on yet, but I hope to at some point. And back there again, you can just see a bunch of other boxes with odds and ends down at the very far end. I'll show you that a little bit later. That's the graded stuff. Random books, giving this away here, hopefully at the beginning of the month. So that's sitting here. Over here is a bunch of ASM. So I have every Amazing Spider-Man comic released, mostly cover A's, from the first introduction all the way up to the present day. So a lot of what you see is there. You may also see a CGC bin. I have books that I've set aside that I wouldn't mind getting graded, but it has to make good sense. So until it makes good sense, it stays right there in that bin. Over here, the dollar signs, those are books that are to be sold. Same thing with these two bins down here on the bottom. This is how I separate those books that are going to be sold from the actual PC. I put them in dedicated bins so I know exactly where they are when the time comes to sell them. Across the top here, a couple of books waiting to ship out. That's an eBay book that I'm waiting to sell, and then a couple of books that I think are on Encore right now. That's what those are right there. So right here is my space for shipping. I have my cutter, my tape, my stickers, the do not bend stickers, my scale, and also a freebie that I throw in every purchase. This bin right here is set up for Heroes Con. I'm hoping to be able to attend Heroes Con this year. So I have a bunch of books here for writers and artists to sign. So I'm kind of just setting some stuff aside so that when Heroes Con rolls around, I am ready to rock and roll. A couple of really awesome books in there. So again, answering the question as to how I separate things that I'm selling from the personal collection, this is how. Every single book in these bins are books that can be sold at some point in time. So I just kind of keep all of that stuff separate. Everything over here is a raw book. Back over here, I keep graded books that I am okay with actually selling. I've amassed these over a period of time. Some are posted up, available for sale. Others are waiting for the right time to do so. Back over here is a bin of Transformers. As I mentioned, I've been working on a Transformers run, so I had a couple of books in here that I needed to pull out to add to my bin back over there. So down here we have all of the graded comics in the collection, in the PC, and they go all the way back down. Most of these are in plastic BCW bins, again, because I prefer those. Last interruption, I promise you, if you are interested in learning how to sell comics, there are a couple of videos here on the channel that can provide you with a couple of tips on how to get started, where to sell, how to take the best photos of your comics. If you are interested in buying comics, there are a couple of links to my various platforms in the description of this video. And as you can tell, I am a fan of BCW products, specifically the plastic bins for raw books and graded books. If you have to buy some supplies, bags and boards, bins, whatever it happens to be, there is a link in the description of this video that can save you a couple of bucks on your purchases. Right up here at the top, we have Oh Sugar and Oh Sugar 2. If things get bad, these are the bins that I'm going to be grabbing. A lot of these have labels, many do not. Like this one is a cosmic bin where I try to organize cosmic related non-Oh Sugar books into there. Back over here, I have one for the 80s because there's a lot of really great 80s stuff. Over here, we have a DC bin. I think I have a Miles Morales bin back there, an Isolation bin. So just an assortment of graded comics all set off to the side, out of the way. Back over here is the Workstation. This is where all the videos that come out from the channel are actually filmed. And then behind me, you can of course see the wall. It's actually a faux wall that I built in the garage and brought up here a couple of years ago. The reason being all of the walls in this room are slanted and I needed a flat wall for the purpose of filming the video. So that is the Workstation, relatively simple and straightforward. Put my soundproofing back in place there. I do that to keep my voice kind of contained in that area so that everything sounds the way that it's supposed to sound. But that's essentially it. That is the room. It's a relatively small room, but sort of organized. I think that there's a lot of room for improvement in here, but it honestly works for what I am trying to do.
Turn me up in my headphones a little bit, like I want to feel it, I want to hear it. All right, that's it right there. I spoke. When the sun rise, till it's burned out. No place to recharge, so we gotta learn how. Conversations with OGs that got dreams that never worked out. So they become masters of dream analysis. They come in the form of barbers and schizos. Warhead with a big nose with his lip.